In a world full of challenges, you make solutions possible. Because of you, last year, we funded over 1,090 global grants, 470 district grants, and 310 disaster response grants. Together, we are providing clean water and growing local economies, supporting education, and promoting peace, supporting mothers and their children, providing aid to the communities affected by disasters, and preventing diseases like polio. Last year, donors like you contributed more than $427 million to the Rotary Foundation. Because of you, together, we can do even more good. Thank you for your dedication to strengthening communities around the world. The Rotary Foundation.
Good evening and welcome to the first of our monthly Foundation Matters webinar series. Let me introduce myself. I'm Sandra Hempstead. I'm the Regional Rotary Foundation Coordinator for Zone 34 and the Chair of the Foundation Regional Action Plan. I will be moderating this event. Before we start, I'd like to introduce my colleague, Bernie Rydell. Bernie is a Regional Rotary Foundation Coordinator for Zone 33, and he will be moderating the Q&A portion of our webinar. Tonight, we'll be sharing some general information about the Rotary Foundation, and you'll hear valuable insights and actionable strategies from club leaders like you. Finally, we'll hear thoughts from Rotary senior leaders about the important work we do with the Rotary Foundation. I'm pleased now to welcome our two senior leaders present with us this evening. Larry Lunsford is trustee and vice chair of the Rotary Foundation of Rotary International. Larry is a member of the Rotary Club of Kansas City, Kansas, in District 6040 in Zone 31. We're thrilled that he's assigned as trustee to work with us in our paired zones 33 and 34. Patrick Eakes, our Rotary International Director for Zones 33 and 34 for 2024 through 2026 is with us. Patrick's a member of the Rotary Club of Crescent, North Carolina in District 7690 in Zone 33. And at this time, I'm pleased to ask Director Patrick to offer his opening comments.
Thank you so much, Sandra, and good evening and good afternoon, my friends. Welcome to the first ever Foundation Matters webinar. Today's webinar is the first in a monthly series that's designed to provide you, our club and district leaders, with skills and strategies that will help you create a culture of support for our Rotary Foundation. That culture of support will allow your club and district to excel in both financial support of our Rotary Foundation and maximize the humanitarian impact you can achieve through the programs of our Rotary Foundation. Each month, our Foundation Regional Action Plan team will produce a webinar that provides skills that are practical, bite-sized, and immediately actionable. When you put what you learn in these webinars into action, you will increase your support of our Rotary Foundation, both through donations and in lives that are improved. Often, the proven skills shared in the Foundation Matters webinars will be presented by club leaders who have already field tested them with success. That's why we say the Foundation Matters webinar series is by Rotarians for Rotarians. The Rotary Foundation started in 1917, so it now has over a century of improving lives across the globe. The Foundation fulfills its motto of doing good in the world through a variety of projects that provide education, clean water, and economic opportunities to communities with demonstrated needs. The Foundation also operates the world's premier peace studies program in 7 countries spread across 5 continents. We're excited that you have joined us because it means that you want to learn more about the power of our Rotary Foundation and how to enhance the way your club and district support our foundation. We hope that you will join us for each month's webinar to learn new approaches to making your club's support of the Rotary Foundation as robust as it can be. And as you experience success in creating a culture of support for the Rotary Foundation in your club, we may even give you a chance to brag about your success in a future webinar. Now, let's get this webinar started. I'm pleased to hand over the virtual microphone to my friend, David Rao.
Thank you, Director Patrick. Hope you all can hear me now. And I'd like to welcome everybody as well. I think it's going to be a great session and a great webinar. As Rotarians, we've always been dedicated to many causes throughout the world by building international relationships, improving lives to create a better world with our peace efforts, and to end polio, only the second worldwide disease that mankind has ever eradicated. To help support these causes, the Rotary Foundation created these 7 areas of focus that basically help us do many good works throughout the world. So the latest one is the environment focus. And right now you should see a poll pop-up on your screen. Please check the areas of focus your club has been engaged with now or in the future. So the results, this looks like the results are in. You can see how many clubs are actually already doing good works within all these areas of focus. And as you can see, these areas, they cover quite a bit of different things that we are doing within our communities and throughout the world. And it's good to see that you're doing this many different areas already within your particular clubs. Next, there's basically 3 ways that Rotarians can do good in the world. First is the annual fund, which is sometimes referred to as the checking account, as funds are distributed through the share system. This allows districts to receive approximately 50% of their giving back after invested for 3 years. These funds are transformed into grants to fund local and international projects. Your Rotary Foundation chair is a good resource to help you learn more about how your club can use these funds throughout your particular area. Second are restricted funds giving. These are opportunities to give to specific causes. Examples of this are the End Polio Now and Disaster Response Fund. Monies donated to these causes can only be used to support the cause to which the donation is made. I do want to point out that donations to disaster response cannot be designated to a particular disaster unless authorized by the trustees. Last is the endowment fund, which is sometimes referred to as the savings account. Cash gifts and bequests from Rotary members and families ensure long-term viability of the foundation grants and programs. Only spendable earnings from this fund are used to expand existing activities and underwrite new ones. Your original donation is never spent. Wanting to leave a legacy? Then the endowment fund will do this for you. With that, I would like to now, as you can see, we've covered quite a lot here in a short amount of time. And I'd like to let you know that all these good works in these different funds, we have a separate webinar that will cover each one of them in detail throughout the year. At this time, I would like to turn this over to welcome Hewitt DuPont, past Club Foundation Chair, and he will share his experiences, strategies, and ideas for fostering a culture of giving within his club. Hewitt, we are eager to hear about your journey.
Thank you, David. Our club was chartered in 1985. We've grown to 70 members and are major supporters of the foundation. 100% every Rotarian every year, 100% foundation giving, 100% Paul Harris Fellow Club. We have 11 major donors in our club, ranging from level 1 to level 4. And that's not all. We have an Arch Clump Society Trustees Circle member and an Arch Clump Society Platinum trustee circle member. We have 19 benefactors and 7 bequest society members ranging from level 1 to level 4. I'm often asked, what is the spark that creates a Rotary Club and makes a club successful in supporting the foundation? The spark for us is involving members and doing that hand in hand with the Rotary Foundation. Several keys to making it happen: promotion, education, reminders, and probably most of all, committed membership. As our membership has been successful in their careers, at the same time, they're giving to the community and the foundation has grown. Over the years, we've had various presidents and foundation chairs that focus on the foundation, and our support also comes from the top as far as district governors and district foundation chairs. They're great promoters also. I've got some suggestions for how you could promote and educate at the club level by adding a few dates to your calendar. First on the list is the DG visit, the district governor. Make that a foundation's award day. Have everyone wear their foundation pins. Shine up the bell and put your best foot forward. Show the world how special your club is and bring the foundation with you. Next date is World Polio Day is October 24th. We are this close. Keep the focus on eradicating polio front and center. Make it a Purple Pinky Day. Paint your club members' fingernail as a vaccine reminder. It's a special collection opportunity and to have a motivational speaker. Next on my list is November. November is Foundation Month. Again, bring yourself a good speaker and a special collection. Because of Thanksgiving, I would recommend that you try doing this earlier in November. And don't let this one slip by. If you're only going to have one foundation event during your Rotary year, get in the habit of doing something in November. It's annual stewardship season. Never miss an opportunity to share what the foundation does. Doing good in the world, it never gets old. And don't forget the 7 areas of focus, just like Dave was talking about. I have found that Rotarians' passion for giving is widespread and unlimited. Next, probably one of my enjoyable dates, Rotary's birthday, February 23rd, 1905. And everyone likes birthdays. Well, probably almost everyone. Cake and cupcakes are always a hit. Several years ago, we started doing skits with no rehearsal, imagining what the first Rotary meetings looked like. And we have 3 of those. And the 4th skit is the 1917 Rotary National President Arch Clump receiving $26.50 from the Kansas City Rotary Club. This is our first contribution to the foundation. Get a bag of dollar coins and dump it out on the table in front of Arch for a dramatic flair. This is just a fun day, no speakers. I'm going to share these skits. I think we've got that to be available. And keep this part extremely quiet. It's a Rotary learning experience. Now, go to Rotary Club Central. This is something else you can do. Look at your club's recognition summary and the foundation banner report. These are your members' foundation giving status. You can see someone who is very close to getting their next Paul Harris Fellow. You can encourage them to give, and you can also use matching foundation points to elevate to the next Paul Harris Fellow. And make your awards recognition and presentations a big deal. I had achieved major donor status several years back, but it ignored being recognized for a couple of years. We had a new foundation chair, and he convinced me that was a mistake. And he was right. Get the awards, get the recognition, and don't be afraid to ask someone for foundation support. I had a brief conversation last year with a major donor member, asking him if he was consider going from level 3 to level 4. His response was, how much does it come to join the Arch Clump Society? So with that said, I got a couple more things. District grants. I really like these. You can involve your members in supporting a foundation. Our club alternates between a local grant and then the next year we've been doing an international project. And these grants are an amazing opportunity to show members their contributions to the foundation at work, doing good in the world. And we have had members that have gone on National Immunization Day trips. One member is even a team leader. Others have gone on trips as part of Sustainable Cambodia. The list of foundation activities all come back to membership involvement. Your club will be more successful by maintaining an active partnership with the Rotary Foundation. I know it has worked for us. And now I'd like to turn this over to Ann Person, the foundation chair for the Rotary Club of Somerset, Pennsylvania in District 7305. And we are excited to hear your thoughts and the impact your leadership has made on the club. You got the floor.
Thanks, Hewitt. Well, I'd like to start by telling you a little bit about our club. Somerset is located within a rural county in southwestern Pennsylvania. We're one of only 2 clubs in our county, and we have 98 members. Our club was founded in 1925, so we're really looking forward to our 100th anniversary next year. I think there are 2 things that a club should consider when choosing a foundation chair. First, it needs to be a detail-oriented person who can complete paperwork in a timely manner and can follow up to make certain everything is entered correctly. Second, it must be a person who's trusted by your membership to handle all their contributions and maintain confidentiality. In our case, my predecessor chairperson was in the insurance industry, and I spent over 40 years in a bank trust department. So look for people like that. Now, some clubs actually form a foundation committee, but I serve as a committee of 1 in my club. I work closely with our membership committee, the club treasurer, and our foundation dinner committee. I think there's 5 parts to a club's successful foundation program. First of all is education. Our membership committee has developed a great Discover Rotary program to educate prospective members. This is an hour-long program which covers all aspects of the club, including an introduction to the Rotary Foundation and the Paul Harris Fellow designation. I usually attend these programs and participate in discussions. Second, leadership. Your club leadership needs to be committed to the program and must set an example for the members. I went back and reviewed 35 years of our club's archives, and I noted that each of our presidents for those years, including our current president, has a Paul Harris Fellow designation. Third, we try to make it easy for people. We know a lot of members cannot make large donations to the foundation at one time. If they wish to make regular contributions, they ask our treasurer to include an amount of their choosing with their quarterly dues invoice. The treasurer then sends those contributions to the foundation and lets me know about them. Another way we make it easy is to use our members' accumulated points. This year, the board of our club has approved the awarding of 667 points to any member who has not yet received a Paul Harris Fellow designation, if they will agree to donate the remaining $333. In addition, anyone wanting to move up to a new Paul Harris Fellow level may donate 1/2 of what they need, and we will give them points for the other half. Fourth, as Hewitt said, recognition. The foundation provides Paul Harris Fellow certificates and pins, and our club purchases medallions for new Paul Harris Fellows. We present these items at a club meeting, and we put a picture of the presentation in our weekly newsletter so all the members can see it. Our club publishes an annual roster book, which is distributed to all members. And one feature of the book is to list all of the Paul Harris Fellows connected to our club. So it's always there in front of everyone. The book also contains a list of our club's major donors and other special designations. Fifth is celebration. Annually, we host a foundation dinner in November. This is a very festive occasion where we honor our donors and provide more education about the foundation. We hold the dinner in place of one of our weekly lunch meetings. All the members are invited and they may bring a guest. We also invite dignitaries such as our local legislators, county commissioners, the mayor, and a number of our Rotary district officials. For last year's dinner, the committee decided on a patriotic theme. Everyone dressed in red, white, and blue and wore their Rotary pins and medallions. We also took advantage of special talents of many of our members. Our president created beautiful table decorations and decorated the entire venue. One member, who's a professional chef, prepared charcuterie boards for the cocktail hour. We have a musician in a club who provided piano music while people were socializing. When it was time for dinner, the dignitaries were announced and escorted to their tables by club members. Also, as part of the program, we had a group of fun-loving members who wrote and performed a humorous skit featuring the ghost of Paul Harris, an Oscar Award winner for sure. It's an event that everyone looks forward to each year. I do understand that each club is different and will support the foundation in its own way. But if you follow the principles of education, leadership, making it easy, recognition, and celebration, you'll find what works for you. Thank you. And now back to Sandra.
I am going to ask you some information about your club foundation chair and how you're structured to support the Rotary Foundation in your club. If you would just take a minute to answer the questions, make a selection, I'd appreciate that. And I just wanted to say that I was smiling as I heard both Hewitt and Ann talk about the skits. It just sounds like that was probably a load of fun and a great way to share the history of our wonderful organization. Now, each club is going to be a little different, of course, and so there are different things that you'll do to support the foundation, whether you're having a foundation dinner and you're a large club, or if you're a small club and you're having a small intimate gathering for your foundation dinner. It will look different in each club. Let me end the poll and share the results. It looks like we do have, most of our clubs have a foundation chair or a chair and a committee, and that's wonderful. Now, we do have a takeaway for you from today's discussion. We would like to have you as a follow-up to the webinar. We're asking each club to make sure you've got a foundation chair identified and that your chairperson is listed in Rotary Club Central and also your district database. Now that might be DACDB, it might be Club Runner, depending on what your club and your district uses. And additionally, as you are looking at your foundation chair and looking at the possibility of a committee, think about the things that your club is going to do and engage someone in a committee to help you to help your chair to get the job done. That will make you more successful. Now, moving on, we have some time for questions and answers. And I want to thank each of our presenters again for sharing their ideas. And as they are starting to come up on the screen, you'll see that we have an opportunity for questions of Ann and Dave Rao and Hewitt DuPont. And we have Bernie Rydell, our Regional Rotary Foundation Coordinator for Zone 33, who is going to moderate the Q&A.
Thank you, Sandra. And thank you to Paul Walter and Al DeLucia for curating the questions for me tonight. Let's start. Let's see. There are a number of questions in the Q&A. Let's start with this one. This is for Hewitt. Tell me a specific event that your club has held for World Polio Day. Mute, unmute, Hewitt, unmute.
Hewitt, unmute.
I'm getting there. I got it unmuted.
Okay, good.
We usually do we just use some purple nail polish and paint the fingernail, because when a child is immunized, that's how they identify that they have received the vaccine. And again, it goes back to what I talked about. It's a reminder. That's what we've done. We've also had some really good speakers in our district. One of our district leaders, her mother actually had polio. So someone that can really share the devastation from this disease. And so and you could be a district governor or a foundation chair, just somebody who provide some motivation, give you some information on what's happening with the polio program.
Do you ever raise funds on World Polio Day or at your club meeting that week?
That is whatever we've collected is fines, happy bucks, whatever people put in. That's a special collection that we send into the foundation.
All right, thank you. This is for Anne. Does your club have a different theme each year for your club's annual foundation dinner?
Yes, we actually do. Like I said, this past year was patriotic. And the prior year, we tried to be very elegant, and we went with black and white. And we actually had a few gentlemen wearing tuxedos, and ladies were wearing their best black dresses. And our table decorations were black and white and silver, and it was lovely. So yes, our foundation dinner chair tries to come up with something every year. And if I might add to what Hewitt said, last year for Polio Day, we had a pies for polio auction, and our chef in the club volunteered to bake pies, and then a few other people pitched in and did that as well, and we auctioned them off, and the money went to the Polio Plus campaign.
Excellent. So you kicked it up a notch this year with your black tie.
Yes, we did.
All right. This question is for David. Of the 7 areas of focus, and this does not involve the survey that came out. Of the 7 areas of focus, which one gets the most grants?
I'm not really sure the answer, honest with that. Larry maybe help me out here. I don't if he can. He probably can't talk. Actually, I'm not sure which one really does.
Okay.
But Larry, when he talks, he'll address that.
Okay, so you're going to defer to
defer to Larry. Yeah.
Defer to Larry. Okay, that's probably
Okay.
that's a good move.
Bernie, I can tell you what our club has been doing. We've done for schools and for communities. They either been water or they've been toilets. That's our focus.
Oh, okay, very good. Let's see. This is Ann again. Ann, does your club foundation chair serve for 1 year or multiple years?
I'm afraid it's multiple years. My predecessor was there forever till his health didn't allow him to continue, and he needed someone to help him, and I volunteered, and I've been doing it now, I think, for 3 years, and I think it'll continue for a while.
Okay.
That just depends on the wishes of the clubs.
Well, you put a lot of time into learning the foundation, which is it's the toughest area in Rotary. There's so many things involved in the foundation. Let's see here. Another question for David. Will the donation of Paul Harris points be explained in more detail in one of the future webinars?
Yes, we do. We have a whole webinar on recognition points. So yeah, we'll go into great detail on how those points are used and can be used.
Okay. Hewitt, are you up for another question?
Sure, Bernie, go ahead.
All right. Have any club foundation chairs used the DACDB mail system to publish foundation facts to members throughout a year?
Not to my knowledge. Most of our, it's all done at the club meeting level. There is some stuff regarding email, but we haven't really used P-mail as a direct source on that.
Okay.
Good suggestion, though.
Okay. Well, somebody thinks so. Yes. Let's see. Anne, what is the cost of the Paul Harris Fellow medallions?
I'm not exactly sure, but I think it's around $10.
And the club pays for that then?
The club pays for that, yes.
And everybody that gets a new Paul Harris Fellow gets a medallion?
Yes, and we really encourage them to wear them, especially to our foundation dinner. And if somebody has lost theirs or whatever, we get them another one so they have it.
For your foundation dinner. And do all attendees pay to attend?
I'm sorry, I don't know the budget for that dinner, but since it is held in place of our regular weekly meeting, the members do not pay, but they are charged, I think, about $25 for their guest. And that is just billed to them with their dues invoice.
Okay. Let's see.
Of course, that depends on the price of your meal at your venue.
All right. Hewitt.
Go ahead, Bernie.
During November and December, can you give me an example of how you used matching points campaign to encourage additional giving to the Rotary Foundation?
Well, I think that's what somebody else had already asked. We've had several times, we've had promotions where someone in the club will say, well, we'll put 500 points in if you'll put $500 in. Those kind of that. And so, but November is a great month for it. I said I called it stewardship season. But you want to do it early in the year. When it gets to December, you start getting in towards Christmas and biting into family time. I would definitely have anything you have, make it the first part of November.
Okay, all right. Hewitt, do you have a 10 to 15 minute PowerPoint presentation to educate our club on foundation that you can send to us?
Yes, I do. I can do that. I got a 15-minute one I've been doing, and I'd be glad to send it to you. But I'm not sure exactly how that'll work in terms of.
Well, if we get it to Sandra, there's going to be a repository for all the attachments and things like that. So if you would get it to.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
And the skits that I came up with, and I would be glad to share those also.
Okay. Well, I don't know if we have, I think we're just about out of time. So I want to thank Ann and David and Hewitt for all your time and answering these questions. Some a little harder, some easier. So we really appreciate it. And now, let's see, if we pass on now. Oh, we now have the pleasure of hearing from trustee and vice chair of our Rotary Foundation, Larry Lunsford. Thank you for being with us tonight, Larry, and sharing your thoughts.
Very good. Thank you very much. What a powerful introduction I had. I'm just teasing. My introduction was to say that I'm hoping that, in fact, I'm certain that there's been a lot of note-taking from this very good-sized Rotary Club meeting tonight. It's my honor to join the leaders that are organizing this webinar, and I want to thank them, Bernie and Sandra and Director Patrick. Really, really impressive, tangible ideas from Hewitt and Ann, from Florida, from Pennsylvania. There were a couple, three things that I might add some additional clarity to, and then finish with just a brief comment or two. I want to make sure that people on the webinar are reminded that our Rotary Foundation, your Rotary Foundation, has really a pretty tremendous scale. In the introductory video, there was a mention made that last year, $427 million was raised across our annual fund giving, our polio giving, our endowment giving, our giving to donor advised funds, our giving to disaster response funds. So it really reminds us that the time we're spending here this evening together is worthy. Our Rotary Foundation really matters. And I also wanted to make mention that one of the great tools for each of you to add to your Rotary Foundation toolkit is the knowledge that our Rotary Foundation, your Rotary Foundation, has been awarded for 15 consecutive years the highest rating from Charity Navigator, which is a charity evaluator in the United States. 4-star rating is their highest rating. Your Rotary Foundation, 15 years in a row. That's impressive. It's something that, as a trustee of your Rotary Foundation, and I'm honored to be one of the 15 trustees around the world of your Rotary Foundation, it's something that we take a great amount of pride in. You know, you say, well, what does a trustee do? As I've sat here this evening and reminded about club foundation chairs and district leaders. Well, a trustee is charged with overseeing all your work, all your great work. We should be the primary cheerleaders for all that fundraising. And I am here tonight to cheerlead for your fundraising. We're also charged with developing the programs that allow you then to spend those dollars that you've raised and connect around the world and add to the Rotary experience from those members in your club. And we believe we have a great set of programs, our grants program, our polio program, our disaster response program, the work that our endowment does. And then the third thing that I mentioned that a trustee does is maintain the stewardship necessary to allow each of you as leaders in your clubs and districts to stand on firm ground. When you're trying to answer the question that at some level I've been charged to answer tonight, why give to the Rotary Foundation? Why give to the Rotary Foundation? Why is it important for the other members in your clubs to give to the Rotary Foundation? Well, our Rotary Foundation merits that, in my view. We're a well-run organization. We're changing lives around the world. Friends and colleagues, there are too many people that are counting on our help through the Rotary Foundation. There's too many people that are waiting for Rotary to be in the right place at the right time. And so that's why I'm so encouraged tonight by the fact that so many of you want to polish your skills and learn more about our Rotary Foundation. There was a question about which area of focus tends to see the most global grant activity. And I believe that that is the disease prevention and treatment category. Someone else had mentioned education, and I think that might be the second most. But I think the heritage and culture that we've built as Rotarians over the last 4 decades with our polio eradication efforts worldwide trickles down into our global grants work and therefore disease prevention and treatment. I wanted to mention to you something, I wanted to add to something that Dave mentioned. He mentioned in his comments that if folks donate to our disaster response fund, generally speaking, they are donating to a general disaster response fund that's available to any district around the world when some unfortunate natural disaster occurs. Sometimes there are such significant occurrences of those kinds of disasters that based on a set of criteria, the trustees will develop and authorize a specific disaster response fund. So a takeaway for you, the general disaster response fund, and on occasion, the specific disaster response fund. I mentioned to you about scale as I moved to wrapping up. And another element of scale, another tool for your toolkit is that while we're having $427 million last year and generally speaking on an annual basis provided, we're also trying to grow our endowment as any large charitable foundation would do. We're in a campaign right now, 2025 by 2025, $2.025 billion, friends, billion with a B, by June 30, 2025. That's a combination of gifts to the Rotary Foundation's endowment, as well as commitments, bequests, indications, and wills and trusts. And I want you to know that there's about $700 million of corpus net assets in our Rotary Foundation endowment right now, and $1 billion, nearly $1 billion in commitments. So this is worthy of Foundation Matters webinars. The scale of your Rotary Foundation is significant. I hope that you will find the ways that work for you to give your clubs a reason to give. And I hope that you'll point them toward particular goals. I hope that you'll make the Rotary Foundation as much a part of the rhythm of their club experience as all the different programs you have every week and all the different fundraisers that you may have in your club. So it's an honor to be one of your trustees. I'm really happy to have been invited to join you this evening. And I do hope that you'll find this webinar and all the future webinars very, very productive. And I wish you the very best. And I thank you, each of you, sincerely for your support and encouragement of the Rotary Foundation. Thank you so very much.
Well, thank you, Larry, for your comments and your discussion about the Rotary Foundation. Every time I hear the great work that we do, the huge fundraising and funds that we have at our disposal to do the good work of Rotary, all I can say is, wow. I'm so proud to be a Rotarian and to be part of the Rotary Foundation. We have a slide here for you of resources, and you're welcome to take a photo of it with your camera, but you will get these slides. We've got a number of links to some information that we think may be helpful as you're doing the work of the foundation chair in your club. So do look for that when you get the slides. We will be sending the recording along with the documents, and I'll definitely put the documents in that Hewitt mentioned, along with a link to register for the September webinar. Now, our September webinar is going to be on September 19th. It's at 6 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and you will be able to register. If you have any questions, please feel free to call myself or Bernie Rydell. We have lots of answers and would be happy to help you with registration or with any questions you may have. So this concludes our Foundation Matters webinar. I want to thank you all for being here and wish you a good evening. Thank you.